So this is Rhonda again. I wanted to talk to you about our seminar. We have actually 3 different seminars that we are offering, and it's quite interesting because especially in the winter months, we're available and we've been asked to go across the nation. We have been presenting the seminar called Be Healed, and it's amazing about being healed mentally, physically, spiritually, socially, and how our thoughts affect our health. And it goes into foods, what to eat, what not to eat. And it also touches on this heart, the healing of our hearts. And Jesus Christ is the healer. And we love this series, Be Healed. I give a short testimony about my personal healing that was so miraculous. I would not be alive today if I wasn't healed by God. And we talk about the 8 laws of health, which when we partner with God, it opens up the healing power of God. You know, Jesus wants to heal everyone. We know that from how he was on this earth. But in this day and age, we are all at the end where things are very toxic. And so we have to partner, cooperate with God's laws. And so that's what that series, if you want to see the series, it's on opendoorranchministries.com, and it's called Be Healed. There's another series I'm doing on sanctuary, and you might want to check that out. I personally feel it's very important to understand the whole concept of sanctuary, that I've broken it down into 4 sanctuaries. And that people say 4 sanctuaries. Well, we have the sanctuary in heaven, and we have the prototype, which was a model of the sanctuary that Moses built in the wilderness, according to the pattern of the heavenly. And then we have the sanctuary of our hearts and our minds, our person. And so that's the 3rd sanctuary. But you know, most people don't understand. The sanctuary is the dwelling place of God. And that's where God dwells, in his sanctuary. He dwells in heaven. He dwelt with the Shekinah glory in the model of Moses' sanctuary on earth. And he wants to dwell in us. It's quite interesting in Hebrews, we're told that there's a new and living way, that we can come boldly into the holiest of all by a new and living way, which was consecrated through the veil that's into the holiest of all, which is to say, his flesh, Christ's flesh. The flesh of Christ is the veil that opens into the most holy place. Now, if you understand that principle, and that's what the seminar is about, then you understand that Jesus was a sanctuary. He said, now remember, sanctuary is where God dwells. Jesus said, I of myself can do nothing. The words that I speak, they're not mine. They're my Father's. And Jesus said, if you see me, you've seen the Father. I and my Father are one. But you know what? We know he was a sanctuary because he said, I of myself can do nothing. My Father who dwells in me, he does the work. And so the Father dwelt in Jesus. The words that Jesus spake, he was speaking right from the throne of God, because his sanctuary of his humanity was connected to the sanctuary in heaven. And that's what we want. We want to go through Jesus and the victory that he has wrought out for us. And by faith, we receive that victory over sin and over selfishness and over all of our character defects, because we have Christ as our model for us. He is the sanctuary that was God with us. So he brought the sanctuary into his humanity and broke the power of sin and Satan in our humanity. And if we could just turn to Jesus every time that our sanctuary is being harassed by darkness or thoughts that aren't right, or selfishness, or bad words, or irritation, when we turn to Jesus and receive his victory over those things, our sanctuary will be cleansed. And that's what's happening in the most holy place right now. The Lord is wanting to cleanse it, and he can't cleanse it until he cleanses it simultaneously with the sanctuary of you and I. So there's a lot more to that study. I get into the beauty of the judgment, that the judgment is actually calling us forward for God to say, take away the filthy garments. I clothe you with a change of raiment. In fact, all of heaven is joying and joyous. Let us be glad and rejoice, they say, for the bride has made herself ready, and to her was granted. That means to give. To her was granted that she would be arrayed with fine linen, clean and white. For the fine linen is the righteous acts, the righteousness of the saints. And so that is something granted to us as we come by faith into the most holy place experience. Now that seminar should have 5 parts. I've done it in 3 and I've done it in 4, just depending on the limitation of time. But I'm getting ready to do a longer version of it, and we'll be recording that and posting it. Please be sure and like it and follow, because that's the only way our YouTube clips or our YouTube programs will be accessible to more people. Otherwise, you can't find them in there unless you know the exact address. So I wanted to ask you, if you have questions about the sanctuary, please send any notes you have to info@opendoorranchministries.com. Info@opendoorranch. Be sure and put the ranch or you're going to get another group. Info@opendoorranchministries, plural.com. So I would just hope you have a really great day. And please tune in and watch my Sanctuary series, Dr. Saeed's Be Healed series, and then the 3rd series too, which we'll talk about another time. And that is Dr. Saeed's Prophecy series, which is, you'll sit on the edge of your chair because it's showing how Daniel is the history and Revelation is the history repeated.